Hello friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. It is officially that time of year to begin my makeup collection and declutter series. I'm equally excited, but also it feels very daunting. I'm excited to kind of go through, get rid of some things that I'm not using, or maybe just something that I feel like somebody else in my life might get more use out of than me. I'm excited to go through, condense a little bit, and it'll just feel like a nice breath of fresh air again. I love doing this every year. It's a good way for me to kind of revisit some things, maybe get re-inspired to use some things, and just feel an overall sense of reorganization. As usual, I say this every single year with every single declutter video, but one, please do not get offended if I declutter your absolute favorite product. I love that for you if it's your favorite thing. It just might not have worked for me. We all have different preferences, and that's what makes makeup fun. Number two, please do not ask me to send you anything. I feel very uncomfortable giving used makeup to people I don't know. I give dibs to my friends and family, and if it's something that's lightly used or not used, I tend to donate it. And lastly, please do not feel pressured to declutter your collection if that's not what you need in your life. It's just what I need in mine. You don't have to necessarily get rid of stuff in your collection if you don't want to. In this video in particular, I'm going to be tackling my complexion products. I'll be going over my foundations, concealers, setting powders, primers, and setting sprays, and I think that's it. I'm really excited to go through it. I feel like I do have some purging I can do, even though I don't really hoard products in this category. I do feel like there's some things I can let go of, and I'm really excited just to have a fresh, clean slate with it. Before we get into the video itself, I did of course film this look. It should already be up on my Instagram and TikTok by the time this video goes up. And as far as my accessories go, these plugs are Love Kills Boutique, and I don't know where this choker's from. It's just your basic run-of-the-mill choker. All right, without further ado, let's just hop in and do some decluttering. Hello friends, I can't believe I'm starting this series. I can't believe it's already been a year since last year, but we're gonna kick it off today, like I mentioned in the intro, complexion products, primer, foundation, concealer, powder, spray. You know, the nitty gritty of it all, the basis of the look, if you will. I thought I had less than I do. I actually have a decent amount of things. I have 34 things total to talk about today, hoping to shrink it down to maybe 25. Like just knock off a little bit, like a couple things off of each category, you know? So we're just gonna break it down category by category. I'm gonna show you everything, chat about everything, show you what I'm getting rid of and what I'm keeping and why. And we're just gonna roll through it. So let's just kick it off with primers. I have 9 of them to go over with you. First being the Juno & Co. Moonshine Miracle Cream. This one, it's more of a moisturizer than a primer, but I do use this a lot in conjunction with other primers whenever it gets to the winter months, or even right now, because we're in the time of year in Florida where we'll get like sporadic cold days and then it'll be super hot the next day and it throws my skin for a loop. I have normal to dry skin, just so you are aware. So I am gonna keep this kicking around. I don't use it all the time, but I do utilize it a lot when the time is right. So I'm gonna keep that one. This is the e.l.f. Sea Bright Putty Primer. I only just got this recently. And while like it's fine, I don't know if I'm like so blown away with it that I feel like I should keep it compared to some other things that I have. Because I have some primers that I like love. Like I honestly don't know how much I'm gonna declutter out of my primers if I'm being honest with you. Out of these 9, I might only get rid of 1 or 2. And I think this is one of the ones that I can pass along. It's not bad. I really don't have anything bad to say. I just like everything else more. And I can see myself using everything else more, if that makes sense. Let's chat about some glowy primers. This is my e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. Mine is in the shade Fair 1. I love this. I use this basically every day. It is such a good base. I haven't even been wearing foundation probably the last at least 6 weeks. I've just been not feeling it. And this just makes such a beautiful canvas for me to put all of my other makeup on top of. It just gives my skin such a glowy vibe, and I'm obsessed with this. I will never get rid of this. I will likely repurchase it when I'm out of it, so this is staying for sure. This is my Fenty Ease Droplet All Over Glow Enhancer in the shade Pink Pearl. I really like this. I can kind of show you. Not that it really swatches well. It doesn't really look like anything, but it's just like a glowy product, you know? Yeah, see, that swatch means nothing. There's gonna be no swatches in this video. There's no point. But I really like this. I actually got this as a gift recently. Thank you so much, Gigi. I really like this. I was very hesitant because Fenty complexion products, I feel like don't agree with me. As much as I love some of her products, like her Gloss Bomb, I love her all over diamond highlight powder thing. What is it called? How Many Carats Diamond Bomb, my favorite highlight ever. But some of her complexion products just don't agree with me, so I was nervous about this, but I actually do like it. It gives me a very highlighty look. I feel like this one looks more like my face just has like a glow, whereas this makes it look like I have some highlight. I know that's very similar and those basically mean the same thing, but trust me, in my mind, they're different. Yeah, I like this one too. I've been using it a lot. I mix it with my foundation if I do wear foundation, but I also like wearing it by itself, and I think it's quite nice, so I will keep it. And the last kind of glowy one is this one from Aether Beauty, the Desert Sky Highlighting Oil. You kind of just shake it up and then it gets all mixed in. That was a horrible shake. There we go. Now it's more together, but I'll just put a couple drops on my hand. I'll put it on my whole face. I've also mixed this with foundation as well, and it's really pretty. This gives me a very like highlighty, borderline, there's sparkle on my face kind of look, which I do vibe with. I haven't been wearing this one as much lately. I have been reaching for the e.l.f. Halo Glow or that Fenty one more than this one lately, but I do still like this one. I've obviously gotten a lot of use out of it. It's like half gone, so I'm gonna keep this one kicking around as well. I think it's nice. This is my Rare Beauty Pore Diffusing Primer, which I don't usually reach for pore diffusing primers. I don't feel like that's just the primer type that I go for. I like either a glowy primer or a gripping primer typically, but I was actually pleasantly surprised with this one. It's very smooth feeling on the face and very lightweight, and I do like it. Is it my #1 favorite primer? No. But do I want to just go ahead and use the rest of this because there's barely any left? Yes. I actually kind of want to try this in conjunction with my glowy primers because I haven't done that yet. I think that would be a good combo. I've probably worn this with my Aether one actually, now that I say that, but I haven't tried it with the e.l.f. or the Fenty one. And I have so little left and I have been enjoying it, so I think I'm just going to use the rest of it. I don't think I will repurchase it or anything, but I think I'll keep it just to finish it up because it's so close to being gone. Now we have gripping primers. I have 2 of the Milk Makeup Hydro Grips, travel size and then a full size. I'm gonna keep both of these. This still remains my favorite primer of all time, even though I haven't been wearing it lately. It's still my #1 favorite. It's just so good. Such a good gripping primer, especially if I'm wearing foundation. This is just my go-to. I feel like it's equally hydrating and gripping, and it's just fantastic. So I'm gonna keep both of these. And then this one, the e.l.f. Power Grip. And I think I might pass this one along as well. And again, similar to the vitamin C one or C Bright or whatever it's called, I don't dislike this. I really don't have anything bad to say. I do feel like this is a very similar product to the Milk one, but I do like the Milk one better. Do I have a solid reason? No, I just feel like my skin likes it a little bit better. And because I have so much of the Milk one and some other primers, I really don't need to keep this one. I've used it a few times, but it's still pretty full, so one of my friends will greatly enjoy this, I'm sure. So I'm just gonna pass this one along to a friend. All right, so with primer, started with 9, decluttered 2, now I have 7. Let's move on to foundations. All right, I have 7 foundations to talk about. I did a really good job condensing this last year, and I really haven't collected any new ones this year. I don't think a single one of these is new except for maybe one. I think my Rare Beauty one is new, but everything else is just continuing on from previous years. I have 7. I'm thinking maybe we can knock it down to 5. Especially because I really don't wear foundation too often anymore. I very much skip it and wear concealer most of the time. And when I do wear foundation, I do reach for like a tinted moisturizer the most. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I guess let's start with tinted moisturizers. We have my Colourpop Pretty Fresh in the shade Fair 3W. I've had this for a couple of years now and it's still going strong. Very, very sheer coverage. If you don't like sheer coverage, you would hate this. But I still like it and I'm getting close to being done. It's like this far down, so I think I'll keep it kicking, keep using it every so often. Side note, this is not the shade that I would normally pick for myself now, 3W. I would pick 3N probably, but because it's so sheer, it doesn't really matter that it's a little bit off, but if I do repurchase this in the future, I would get N, not W personally. I have this Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer, the Positive Light one in the shade 20W. I really like this one. Again, I'd probably go for an N. They sent me W, but again, because it's so light coverage, it's not that big of a deal that it's not a perfect match because it blends out and looks pretty close. I love this. I think it is so just smooth and glowy and lightweight and amazing, and I absolutely love this, so I'm absolutely keeping it. And then we have the Fenty Eavesdrop in the shade 1. I was so excited for this tinted moisturizer, I think last spring. But unfortunately, the only way I can make this work is to add in a ton of glowy product because otherwise it's just a little too dry for my skin, even though it's supposed to not be drying at all. It's supposed to be like a glowy tinted moisturizer, but unfortunately for me, it's a little too dry. And I think because I have to manipulate it so much to force it to work, I don't think I'm gonna keep it anymore. I'm not super inspired to reach for it, so I'm gonna see if one of my friends wants it instead. The Urban Decay Stay Naked Hydromaniac. This is still one of my favorites ever. This is the Tinted Glow Hydrator. Mine is in the shade Fair 20. I love this, like one of my top foundations of all time. It is so glowy and so lightweight, and I'm absolutely keeping this one. My Bite Beauty Changemaker Supercharged Micellar Foundation. This is in the shade L15. Unfortunately, Bite Beauty's no longer a thing. Like, they're done. And this foundation is also done because the brand is done. So that's really sad because this was my #1 favorite for a while. I do think this Urban Decay one is my new favorite, but this one was my favorite for a hot minute. And I am sad that the brand is gone, but I am gonna keep this and continue using it up until it is gone. So I'm gonna keep this one kicking around. And then I just have 2 more. I have this Huda Beauty one in the shade Angel Food 110N. It's a stick foundation. Stick foundations used to be my jam. It used to be like the only type of foundation I wanted to wear. I do still like this one. It's just not my like go-to, but I do like it on a day when like maybe I want a little bit more coverage. I feel like this is kind of like medium buildable. You could build it up to full if you wanted, but if you use just a small amount like I do, it's more like a medium. I like the finish of it. I think I'll keep it because out of these two, I don't need both. I don't think because they're both a similar, even though totally different consistency, a similar finish, like a little bit of a glow, kind of like a natural satin, medium buildable kind of vibe. I think I like the Huda one a little bit more. But this is the Pretty Fresh one in the shade 15W Fair. This cap is so gross, isn't that nasty? Maybe I do want to keep this one also. Having 6 complexion products isn't like that big of a deal. Like that's not a hoarding mentality, you know what I mean? And I really don't have a reason to declutter this one. And I don't want to declutter for the sake of decluttering. I want to declutter things because I'm not using them. And I think because most of my foundations are tinted moisturizers, maybe having the stick one and this one that's not a tinted moisturizer isn't a bad thing. So yeah, I think I will keep this one also. And that ends it for foundations. So yeah, we started with 7, decluttered 1, now we have 6. And we're gonna move on to concealers, which I have 4 of. And I think I'm gonna be able to declutter it down to 2. First off is this Sigma color correcting duo. I just got this recently. This is very reflective packaging, so it's awkward to show. I used this in a Get Ready With Me recently, and I've been using it all the last like week or so. And I don't think this is a bad product. It does kind of brighten up my under eyes, but I don't feel like it really does anything for me that concealer doesn't do. You know, like my concealer builds over it just fine. I don't really have any complaints other than the fact that I just don't think it really does anything for me. I don't think it's something I need, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pass it along to a friend. Next is the Milk Makeup Sunshine Concealer. This is in the shade 1. It has kind of this roller ball. You click the pen, you use the concealer. And I do like the formula, but honestly, the applicator just kind of bugs me. Like, I don't wanna do the clicky pen. I don't wanna roll the roller ball. I just want a normal wand. If this had a normal wand, I'd probably be keeping it, but just because it's kind of a hassle and gets so filthy, I'm not inspired to use it, you know? Sometimes it's something as simple as just packaging that makes me want to use or not want to use something. And this is one of the things that I don't want to use it because of the packaging. So even though the formula is fine, I have 2 other concealers that I like more, one being from Milk Makeup. So I'm gonna pass this one along. Ugh, I don't even know if a friend will want this one though, because it's so gross. I might have to end up just decluttering this one because that's pretty nasty. All right, and the 2 that I'm keeping that I absolutely love, this is the Milk Makeup Flex Concealer in the shade 3N. I really like the tip on this one. I like how like pointy it is. It gets in those nooks and crannies really nicely around my eye. I really like this. It's pretty hydrating, pretty easy to blend. I've been using this one a lot lately. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it. But my #1 favorite is the Rare Beauty Concealer. This is my second one I've gone through. This is the shade 110N, and I love it. I love the doe foot applicator. I love the curvature on it. It's just such a fantastic concealer. It has like a little bit of a satin natural kind of glow. And it just blends so easily. This is such a blendable, just smooth concealer, and I'm obsessed with it, so I'm absolutely keeping it. Concealer's always been one of those products that I don't feel the need to hoard. Like, I kind of just stick with my favorites. So we started with 4, if you count the color correcting duo, which that's what I'm putting it in the category for. Decluttered 2, so now I have 2 total. Moving on to powders now. I don't know how this happened, but I have 11. Who needs 11 setting powders? Not I. I need to condense this down a lot. It's probably still gonna be close to like 6 or 7 though, because a lot of these are backups. 5 of them are the exact same, I'll just be honest with you right now, and I'm keeping all of those. So even if I took away 4 of those, that's still 7 that I have. So I'm thinking I can maybe declutter 3 or 4 things. Let's just get into it. Let's just go with my pressed ones first. Let's get this out of the way. NYX High Glass. This one is on its last leg, so it's basically already done for, but I'm gonna keep using it until it's just nothing because I use these until they're done. This one I've used a little bit because I took it traveling because I knew this one was like on the verge of breaking. And then these three are untouched. I bought a bunch of them when they were on sale because I was fearful it got discontinued, and I think it did get discontinued. So thankfully I'm set for a while. I use this all over my face, not under my eyes or anything, but I like it around the perimeter of my face and like my cheeks and stuff because it keeps a lot of glow. And it's just super lightweight. It's my favorite like face powder ever. So I have 5 of these and I'm keeping them all. Oh, these two though. These are pressed powder foundations. I could have put this in the foundation category, but I put them in the powder category. The Colourpop Pretty Fresh. This is in the shade Fair 2. It's not bad. I actually don't mind this one. It's pretty lightweight. It doesn't look super cakey, but I just never reach for it. I'm not a powder foundation girly. I'm just not. So I'm gonna pass this one along. And this one, if you saw my makeup declutter tag video a few months ago, you'll already know I hate this. This is the e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundation in the shade Fair 125C. This is just so bad. No matter what I do, this looks like pure cake on my face. It just makes me look so dry and crepey and decrepit, and it is just awful. I used this a few times and every single time was like the worst day of my life. So absolutely not keeping this. I think it's awful, pure garbage. And now I have 4 loose setting powders. I don't know how I have this many. First we can talk about this Sigma one that I got a couple months ago and I've used nonstop. This is in the shade Vanilla Bean. I love this. It's very, very smooth on the face. It doesn't make my under eyes look crepey or dry at all. It's still no Milk Makeup setting powder. That was my favorite of all time. I used it for years and unfortunately that's discontinued. But this is a pretty good replacement for it for me. I really, really enjoy this one, so I'm gonna keep it. And let's see, out of these 3, as much as I wanna like this Rare Beauty one, it's a little pink for me. It's in the shade Light and it has a little bit of a pinky tone to it. Let me see if I can open it and show you. Like, it's just a little pink. And I feel like it's really easy for me to accidentally use too much and then I look pink. And I don't really have pink undertones. I'm a pretty solid neutral. I think I'm gonna give this one away to a friend because it's just a little too pink for me and I'm not super gung-ho to use it. This Huda Beauty one in the shade Pound Cake is fine. It's a little fragrant, but it's not bad. I think I'll keep this one as well. I think I'll keep this and the KVD one because they're not bad. I really don't have any complaints with them and I am gonna run out of that Sigma one soon, which I could just buy more, but I could also use things that already exist so that I'm not being wasteful. I think I'll keep the Huda Beauty one and then I'll also keep the KVD one. This one's in the shade Translucent. I actually do like this one a lot. I like this one more than the Huda Beauty one probably. So I think my plan is I will finish off the Sigma one and then I'll use this one. And then if I finish this one completely and don't have anything else that I want to use, then I'll use the Huda one. So I think that's what I'll do. So started with 11, decluttered 3, now that I have 8. However, if you take away 4 of the repeats of High Glass, I only have 4. I have 4 loose powders and 1 High Glass, so that's not too bad. And now we're on to setting sprays, which I only have 3 of. Milk Makeup Hydro Grip is forever my favorite. It is just such a good mister, like hands down best setting spray of all time, in my opinion. The Colourpop Pretty Fresh, I also really like this one. Very hydrating, very just nice feeling on the skin. I personally don't use setting spray for the reason of longevity. I do it to make my makeup look better. I personally don't believe setting spray makes my makeup last longer. I think it's all about how I apply the products and what products I'm using to begin with. But I do use spray to help make all the makeup sink into my skin nicely, and this one does a good job for that too. And then there's this one, the Vitamin C All Nighter from Urban Decay. I used a good amount of it. There's still a good amount of it in here, but yeah, I don't know if I need to keep this one though. It's fine, it smells nice, but I just don't know if I need to keep it. Like, I have plenty of setting spray with my Milk Makeup one and Colourpop one, and then I can just buy more Milk Makeup one if I run out of those. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one to a friend. So yeah, setting sprays. Started with 3, decluttered 1, now I have 2. Let me get my official grand totals ready for you. All right, well, I started with 34 items total. I decluttered 9, now I have 25. That was exactly my goal. I wanted to get down to 25, so that's what I did. And again, 4 of those as a backup. So really I have 21 things total. And I think I'm pretty good with that. I think I'm pretty good. I will overlay pictures of my before, all 34 of those products together, all laid out. Here are the 9 things that I ended up decluttering. And then here are the 25 things that I am keeping. So that wraps it up for my declutter of my complexion products. We officially kicked off this series and I'm very excited about it. It already feels like a breath of fresh air, just kind of exiting some of those products that I wasn't using. And it's making me really excited to pull out some of the things that I wasn't using. Like, I kind of want to use some of my like foundations again since I haven't been wearing foundation lately. And I kind of want to like work on using up this Rare Beauty product. I always get really inspired to just like actually use my stuff again and try to finish things. I don't like to do official project pans where I make like video dialogue about it, but I do try to make an effort finishing my products as much as possible. So yeah, I'm just re-inspired. So let's just finish up this video now. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'm really excited to get in and actually do the decluttering part. I haven't filmed that segment yet. I'm gonna film it, I think, tomorrow, and I'm just really excited to see how it goes. I have faith that I'll be able to condense it at least a decent amount. You know I don't have a ton of stuff in this category, but I know I can shrink it a little bit, and I'm really excited to see what happens. I would love to hear your thoughts though. Do you love any of the things I talked about today? Do you hate any of them? What are your favorite products in each of those categories? Foundations, concealers, powders, primers, setting sprays, all that good stuff. I'm super looking forward to doing more in this series. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to, again, just kind of get a little bit of a fresh slate going on. If you made it to the end of this video, leave some Halloween related emojis because we are still in spooky season. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me on my other socials. You can join the battybean fam. I am battybean on everything, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And if you want, you can subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I've been posting every single day in October, but normally I am posting most days over here as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.